Let them funnel in. Let them funnel in. Just keep knifing. Keep knifing. Dogs make it a little bit harder, but we should be fine. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, this might be too much. Oh, no, it's still working. Oh, no way. No way. I mean, we're taking damage to our armor, but look at how long we've been cornered for, and we're completely fine on round 20. And while we're in Outbreak, we're also going to test it out against Orda. So here we go. I've heard this thing absolutely fries Orda. Let's see how quickly we can take him down. Now, hearing that, you probably think, well, clearly the Sai is the brand new best melee weapon in the game. How is the ETOOL going to compete? Overall, what's better, the ETOOL or the Sai? The answer to that is complicated. All right, and welcome back, guys. With the introduction of the Sai, one of the most asked questions I have got from you is the ETOOL better than the Sai, or is the Sai better than the ETOOL? In this video, we're going to test everything you could possibly want to know about the new Sai melee weapon. We're going to test its speed against its ETOOL, the jumpingness against the ETOOL. We're going to test it against Orda. We're going to take it to, health cap on round-based modes. We're going to test everything out in this video and find what situations you should be using the ETOOL and what situations should you be using the Sai, and see if it is the single new best melee weapon in the game, which is going to be very interesting. If you look at the in-game stats, it says it has the same speed as the ETOOL, a little bit less damage, but we all know the in-game stats don't mean a whole lot. We got left with us here today to test out the speed against it, but with that, let's go ahead, hop into Outbreak to do our first set of tests. And now here we are, loaded into Outbreak. I'm using the brand new Sai melee weapon. Left's using the ETOOL. Before this update and the Sai was added, the ETOOL let you run faster than anything else in the game. Even using Fist, the ETOOL was considerably faster than that. But one thing I know already is fast? NordVPN. Hey, this video is kindly sponsored by our friends over at NordVPN, and if you use my link below or go to nordvpn.com/LegoUnlocked, you can get a 2-year plan with 4 additional months at a huge discount. Let me tell you why I personally use NordVPN. If you are browsing the internet and you are not using a VPN, companies like Google or any other website you go to, even your ISP can see everything you're doing. And even worse than that, hackers or people with malicious intent can also see that data without a VPN encrypting your stuff. One of the best and coolest things about NordVPN is how easy it is to use. This right here is my personal NordVPN account. And as you can see, these are all the different regions we can switch to here. And let's say we just wanted to click on Malaysia real quick. If we click onto that quickly, it's immediately going to take us over there. And just like that, we're connected to the Malaysian server. It was that quick, that simple, and that easy. So that's why you should definitely check out the link in the description below. That way you can get a 2-year plan with 4 additional months at a huge discount, or go to nordvpn.com/LegoUnlocked. Once again, gotta give a huge thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. So we're gonna go on go. 3, 2, 1, go. And I got a little bit of a lead on him because I think there's a delay in the mic, but I think you can see with the little thing at top, I think left is slowly gaining on us. Yeah. So yeah, you can clearly see that the ETOOL is still faster. Even though the in-game stats say these have the same speed, you're going to run faster with the ETOOL than anything else in this game. However, even though the ETOOL is still faster, the Sai does have a special property. You actually jump higher with this melee weapon than you do with any other weapon in the game. And you can clearly see as I'm running and jumping here, this is a lot more of a jump than you see with any other weapon in the game. Even the ETOOL, nothing else really gives you additional jump, and you're able to do some cool stuff with this. So if we don't have stamina up, this test just only works when no one has stamina up. So left, go ahead and start running. And as you already know, the ETOOL is faster, but if we start jump sliding, you can see that I'm actually able to beat left. We tried this with stamina up. Once the person with the ETOOL has stamina up, you're not able to do this anymore. But without stamina, you're actually able to go a farther distance with the Sai than you are the ETOOL in a shorter amount of time by jumping and sliding. So without stamina, the Sai is faster technically. With stamina, the ETOOL's faster, which overall I'm going to give it to the ETOOL for that one, because especially for high round games, you're almost always going to have stamina past a certain point. So early rounds, the Sai is going to be faster. Later rounds, ETOOL gets the win. And while we're in Outbreak, we're also going to test it out against Orda. So here we go. I've heard this thing absolutely fries Orda. Let's see how quickly we can take him down. And come on. Yeah, not gonna lie, this might be the quickest Orda takedown ever. That is insane. That is quicker than the ETOOL at taking down Orda. I don't know much of anything else that is gonna drop Orda that freaking quick. So far this thing's looking pretty strong. But with that being said, let's hop into Firebase Z. All right, now we are on Firebase Z for a very specific reason. One, we're going to test out the knifing speed of this versus the ETOOL. But more importantly, with the new additional jump height, you are able to... Oh, well, that was a fail. Let's try that again. But with the new additional jump height, you are once again able to get up here and skip the first door. And this isn't actually a glitch. One of the developers talked about this and they have no plans to like fix this. This was kind of intentional with the Psy. This is supposed to happen. So from now on, if you spawn in on Firebase Z, you can skip once again on round 1, immediately get to the second area just by jumping up here from that. As you can see, that door is not closed. If we want to go back down here, we could actually camp in this bottom area if we want. And this is going to be like this forever, which is really cool to me because one of the more iconic things about Firebase Z, I absolutely loved doing the first room skip with that jump pretty much every time I played Firebase Z because it speeds things up a lot. You no longer have to wait through the end of the first round. You can just immediately go ahead, take the teleporter, start doing trials round 1. And it's back now, and it is here to stay. And that, like I was saying, was one of the more iconic things about Firebase Z. It's something I did every game. I feel like most of the community did every single game they played, and it's back here to stay with the catch of you have to spawn in with this weapon to make it even work. And while we're still on Firebase Z, we're actually going to do one more test. We're going to horde up every single zombie on round 3. We're going to kill all of them using the Psy melee weapon, and then we're going to do the same thing with the ETOOL and compare that footage side by side and see which one of these two weapons knife faster. I think it's clearly obvious, but you know what? Just for completionist sake. So this is every zombie in round 3. And once we start knifing, we're just going to spam. Oh, we can't go down though. We got to make sure we hit a zombie with every effect. There we go. So that's all the zombies with the Psy. All right, round 3 again. Let's repeat the same test, this time using the ETOOL. And right away, you can tell there's a pretty big difference. We can't even go full force into these because we would take too many hits. So that was it with the ETOOL there. And clearly the Psy was faster. And thanks to Curtis Wolf and his testing, we have the exact numbers for exactly how many swings per minute each one is doing. The new Psy melee weapon is doing 140 swings per minute, where the ETOOL is doing 104 swings per minute. So clearly the Psy is killing quicker because it's swinging up to 40 times extra per minute. Now, hearing that, you probably think, well, clearly the Psy is the brand new best melee weapon in the game. How is the ETOOL going to compete? Here's the one reason why. If we go up to a zombie with the ETOOL and knife it, you saw we just did 1,250 damage with the ETOOL. Now let's go ahead, hop into D Machina and see how much damage we're doing per hit with the Psy. All right, so now let's go ahead and get a kill with the Psy. And as you saw there, that did 625 damage per hit. That is half of what the ETOOL and every other melee weapon does, and that's the catch. That's why this is able to swing so fast, is it's not doing the normal damage, which means this is not always going to be a one hit. But even saying that, I still think this weapon has a huge place in the meta, and I'm about to show you why I think this is the single best weapon to spawn in with. This right here is probably the best starting weapon in the game, whereas the ETOOL is going to be the best weapon for high rounds. If you're going past round 40, I'd recommend using the ETOOL, but if you're just looking to start the game off and, you know, get a wonder weapon, the Psy is the best weapon. So we activated the Rampage inducer, and I think the combination of the Psy and the Rampage inducer together is such an amazing, beautiful combo, because with how quickly you can knife, and if you have melee tier 5 upgraded, you get health back. We're going to extremely quickly go through the first 6 or 7 rounds just knifing zombies, and we're really not going to have any issue with how quickly this knifes. And it is the perfect weapon to start the game up, activate the Rampage inducer, use it for about 8 or 9 rounds, and then, I mean, you're good. You've got tons of points. You're able to open the map, maybe buy another weapon, and that's the real catch with this. This is where it's extremely good at. It's not like the ETOOL. I wouldn't recommend a round 100 run with this weapon. One, because you don't get that extra running speed, which is massive for high rounding. That's why the ETOOL is the best weapon for round 100, is because when you go down, you get that extra running speed and the fact that it's still going to one-hit knife zombies on round 100. This doesn't have that, but it's extremely good in different aspects. I mean, look at that. We're already in round 6, and look at it just knife the zombies as they come up. Oh, perfect. There's a Megaton. Let's see how quickly we can take him down using Ring of Fire. Keep in mind, this isn't even packed yet. Oh, no. Probably a bad idea with the million zombies here. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Oh, no, we won't. No, we won't. Actually, yeah, this weapon's ridiculous. We'll be fine. Got him. Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. Look at how quickly we're knifing. We're still going to get the Megaton, too. Come on, and he's done, and he's done. Yeah, we had a little bit of assistance from Ring of Fire, but that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. And we just got this max level too. So now we have all the calling cards, everything unlocked for this in zombies. So now all we're lacking is the MP stuff. All right, so it just turned round 11, and to show you how ridiculous this is, we're about to record the entirety of round 11 using this. Like, look at how quickly we can just spam this and getting through round 11 with the Rampage inducer on. The fact that you get health back every single kill is ridiculous. And as you can see, they're just flooding in, and we're just legitimately spamming the knife button. This is all we are doing. Yeah, we got an insta-kill. Wouldn't have mattered though. But, oh. And is that it? One zombie left. That was the entirety of round 11. Round 11 gone like that. And we can just keep, rinse and repeat. Keep doing this. So that's the one single reason that every time I spawn in now, if I'm not planning on going to high rounds, and you can, if you want to get the ETOOL, you can get the ETOOL out of the box. But for early rounds, setting up, nothing beats the Psy. It is the goated spawn in setup weapon in the game right now. Let them funnel in, let them funnel in. Just keep knifing, keep knifing. Dogs make it a little bit harder, but we should be fine. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Double points, nice. Keep knifing. Oh, is it 2-hit now? Oh, that's part of the reason. It's a 2-hit right now. So we should probably go pack it. Round, it actually falls off relatively quickly. Unlike the ETOOL you're able to use all the way up to like round 14 or 15 without pack-a-punching it, without upgrading the tiers. Since this does half the damage, you do have to be more on top about upgrading it. It falls off a lot quicker. And if you're not constantly pack-a-punching it and upgrading it, you're going to start 2-hitting. And once you start 2-hitting, it can be used, as you saw there, that entire last round we did was a 2-hit, but it is way more efficient when it's a 1-hit. So you want to try to make sure you're keeping it as packed as possible. And this really isn't a weapon. Oh, and we went down. This isn't really a weapon that I would keep late game. Honestly, ditching this weapon around round 20 is probably your best bet. Using this till round 20, buying an M16 or a Hauer off the wall is probably the best way to use this, because past round 20, you're going to start, you know, third tier pack-a-punching it. You're going to start doing a bunch of additional stuff. And I don't know, past that point, it's better off just getting an additional wall off the additional weapon off the wall and putting Shatter Blast on this. Now, one thing I've noticed as I go to higher and higher rounds with this weapon, it's got some pretty annoying lunge on it. One thing I love about the ETOOL is the ETOOL has next to no lunge. The ETOOL's not going to lunge at any zombies. You're going to be able to hit it accurately each and every time. And especially when it comes to melee weapons in this game, whether or not you're playing MP or zombies, you want the weapon to have almost zero lunge. Lunge is pretty, it gives you a bunch of negative effects. The lunge affects the range. The more lunge a weapon has, the less range you're going to have with it. And on top of it, the less accurate you're going to be. Lunging's pretty inaccurate, and I would way rather just aim the melee weapon myself. And you can see here, occasionally, we're lunging pretty far at some of these zombies. So, kind of wish it didn't have that. But honestly, the lunge isn't as bad as some of the other weapons. The baseball bat and machete have extremely bad lunge. So it's not the worst lunge ever, but it's definitely noticeable. And if you've used the ETOOL a lot, you'll notice that this is definitely not got quite the same range as what the ETOOL's got. And it doesn't have the accuracy factor either. All right, round 26, time to go ahead, put the last Pack-a-Punch tier on this. And I haven't said anything about this yet, but the Pack-a-Punch camo coverage on this weapon is absolutely amazing. Looks absolutely fantastic. We'll have to play a game of Malward or Toten for another video we do to kind of see the Pack-a-Punch camos on this weapon on Malward or Toten. And on top of that, we can go ahead, get it purple tier as well. And so now we should be good for a while, but this thing once again drops off pretty quickly. So you do have to be on top of the upgrades and stuff like that. So we need to get it final tier, which means we need to get 1,000 salvage. Oh, we're cornered. We're cornered. Although I don't even think it matters. Like, you can get cornered with this weapon, even on round 26. Okay, this might be too much. Oh, no, it's still working. Oh, no way. No way. I mean, we're taking damage to our armor, but look at how long we've been cornered for, and we're completely fine on round 26. Round 26, you can just kind of sit in a corner and spam it, and you're completely fine. Yeah, over time, it's going to take away all your armor, and once your armor's gone, you might have some issues, but, I mean, that's more than enough time to get out of a corner. We were in there for like a solid minute and a half, and we still have a little bit of armor left on top of that. Hi, Megaton. Hi, Megaton. Bye, Megaton. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Get him from the feet. Donna. Donna, na, na, na. Oh, come on. Over here. Even without insta kill with Ring of Fire, this is still a one-hit kill on round 28. Oh yeah, before I forget, we should go ahead and put an ammo mod on this. We're going to be running Shatter Blast because right now Shatter Blast is definitely the best ammo mod for taking out giant hordes of zombies, especially when using a melee weapon. That's pretty much all I use on melee weapons right now is Shatter Blast. And now finally at round 36, we can go ahead, fully upgrade this, and let's see what kind of, well, that doesn't count. Let's see what kind of damage we are doing. Per hit, we're doing 31,000 damage, which that means if this weapon's doing 31,000 damage per hit and the zombies cap out at 60,000 at round 55, this is not going to be a one hit forever. It is eventually going to start becoming a 2-hit, but it's never going to become a 3-hit because if it's doing 31,000 damage and zombies cap out at 60,000, it's never going to go to 3 hits, but when it goes to 2 hits, it's probably going to drop off massively. So I'm going to go ahead, continue using this all the way up to the point when it starts taking 2 hits to kill a zombie. And now here we are on round 41. If we go to knife a zombie, he gets absolutely demolished by Shatter Blast. Not the point I was trying to make. You can see round 41, the Psy is taking 2 hits to kill an enemy. And if we try going into the horde, you can see it's still possible. And as long as the zombies are weakened a little bit, we're not doing too bad, even with it being a 2 hit. But it's noticeably, oh, we're gonna go down. Oh, there's a zombie behind us. Why would I activate Ring of Fire? It's noticeably not killing zombies anywhere near as fast. And yeah, once it starts taking 2 hits, it's not a terrible weapon. It's still a usable weapon. But if I was strictly using a melee weapon past this point, I would want the ETOOL. But I still think there's honestly an amazing use for this. Honestly, past round 41, I'm not using a melee weapon as a primary weapon. I'm just not. I'm using it as a secondary weapon. And this thing knifes so quickly as like a backup Shatter Blast. You can just quickly knife with your primary weapon, activate Shatter Blast. And overall, I think the Psy is more useful than what the ETOOL is. I think for the average player, if you had to unlock the ETOOL or the Psy, I would say unlock the Psy. This for early rounds is unbeatable. There is no better weapon in the entire game to spawn in with. Rounds 1 through 20, this thing's an absolute monster. You're going to build up so many points, especially with the Rampage inducer. And once you get to high rounds, yeah, the ETOOL would kind of take the focus and become the better weapon to use here. But the Psy's still amazing because look, what I would use the ETOOL for is we'd be knifing normally shooting zombies and we'd knife to use Shatter Blast. And it still works for that. And as long as the zombies are like half health on round 55, you're still going to be able to take them down. And it's always going to be a 2 hit. So overall, what's better, the ETOOL or the Psy? The answer to that is complicated. Because the Psy's better in some aspects, the ETOOL's better in some aspects, but that is still so refreshing because before this update, before they added the Psy into this game, the best melee weapon for anything you were doing in zombies was the ETOOL. The best melee weapon for anything you were doing in multiplayer was the ETOOL. The ETOOL had better stats than every other melee weapon and nothing competed with it. Doesn't matter. Whatever you were doing in zombies, ETOOL would be better. Whatever you were doing in multiplayer, nothing would compare to the ETOOL. But now, there's a contender and there are situations where these two go back and forth. So if you're using melee weapons, I do recommend unlocking both of them. Both these weapons are things you definitely want to have in your tool belt to be able to use in zombies. But I think the Psy's a little bit more useful. I really do. I genuinely think that early round point building, and I mean, if you're going to high rounds, yeah, use the ETOOL. But for low rounds, the Psy is actually completely unbeatable. And it's really, really nice at high round. Just actually, I want to test how good is this for recovery. So we just went down here. So let's say we go down and let's see how efficiently we're able to run around the map, kind of sliding to buy perks back. Because that's one thing about the ETOOL. The ETOOL is amazing for recoveries because you're able to kind of just, you know, jet around because you run faster. But with it, oh, well, we went down again. With this, we're still able to slide around. It's not as effective as the ETOOL. So oh, well, you can slide while drinking perks. That's kind of neat. So if we go down here and we knife a zombie to get back up, and let's say we got zombies behind us, are we able to buy this perk? And oh, we're going to go down here. Buy it and slide. Oh, okay. That's kind of nice. That sliding effect without having stamina is actually really good for being able to buy your perks back. So if you got zombies behind you and you don't want to die while drinking the perk, we're going to get it and we're going to slide. Okay. I don't know. Dang, these weapons are just so different. And I guess depending on your play style, I honestly might kind of use this on high rounds now, because when you go down without stamina, this thing's kind of really good for buying your perks back. Yeah, so that right there was our full review of the Psy melee weapon, and I absolutely love this. I think it's an amazing addition to the game. It's not the best melee weapon in every aspect, but for some things you're doing, this is the best weapon, and for other things you're doing, ETOOL is the best. But I can tell you right now, if you're playing a casual game going in on low rounds, definitely want to pick the Psy. And that's that. So let me guys know your opinions. Do you like the Psy? Have you unlocked it? And do you prefer it over the ETOOL, or do you prefer the ETOOL? Simple as that. And huge thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. I want to take the last moment here to thank everyone who became a YouTube member or a Twitch sub, and an extra special thanks to everyone who became an Unlock Plus Plus member on YouTube. We get the Legend Sergeant CJ, the ETOOL Lawyer You Don't Cross Hoss, the DMCA Claim Waiting to Happen Snap, Huntery Don Doe, the man whose name should be really easy to pronounce, Yamaster, the friend who always comes through, Drew, and then we have Luke.